The Philippines, a country with a complex past, a blend of cultures, and a deep-rooted history that reflects both resilience and transformation. Today we take you on a journey through the entire history of the Philippines, exploring the origins, conquests, revolutions, and triumphs that have shaped this unique nation. The history of the Philippines begins long before written records. The earliest inhabitants, the Negritos, are believed to have arrived around 30,000 years ago. Later, Malay, Indonesian, and Chinese merchants settled on the islands, forming diverse, autonomous communities. These barangays, led by local chieftains called datus, were already well established by the time of European contact. These communities were connected by trade networks across Southeast Asia. They exchanged gold, pearls, and textiles with traders from India, China, and beyond, creating a dynamic, multicultural society where each region developed its own customs, languages, and spiritual beliefs. In 1521, Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan, sailing for Spain, landed on Cebu, beginning the first European contact with the islands. His encounter with Lapu-Lapu in Mactan, however, ended in conflict and ultimately his death. Despite this, Spanish forces returned in 1565, leading to over 300 years of Spanish colonization. The Spanish introduced Christianity, establishing Catholicism as the dominant religion. They built grand churches, schools, and government institutions, consolidating their power across the islands. The capital, Manila, became a key port in the lucrative galleon trade, which connected the Philippines to Mexico and Spain for over 250 years. But Spanish rule was not without resistance. Throughout this period, uprisings sparked across the islands. From the Dagohoy Rebellion to the Tamblot Uprising, Filipinos continually fought for autonomy, showing a deep-rooted desire for independence. By the 19th century, the seeds of revolution were sown. Influenced by Enlightenment ideas, a new generation of Filipino nationalists emerged. Figures like José Rizal, Andrés Bonifacio, and Emilio Aguinaldo inspired the people through writings and actions, calling for reform and freedom. The Philippine Revolution officially began in 1896, with the Katipunan, a revolutionary society founded by Bonifacio, launching attacks against Spanish forces. Though initially suppressed, the revolution gained momentum, leading to the declaration of Philippine independence on June 12, 1898, marking the first time a Southeast Asian country declared independence from a European power, but independence was short-lived. After the Spanish-American War, Spain ceded the Philippines to the United States under the Treaty of Paris, sparking another struggle. The United States quickly established control, beginning what would become a challenging period for the Philippines. Despite promises of modernizing infrastructure and education, tensions between the U.S. and Filipino forces ignited the Philippine-American War in 1899. This brutal conflict lasted over 2 years, with significant loss of life. After the war, the U.S. initiated widespread changes, creating public schools, improving infrastructure, and establishing a governmental framework that led to the creation of the Philippine Assembly in 1907. However, Filipino self-governance was limited, with key policies controlled from Washington. During World War II, Japan occupied the Philippines from 1941 to 1945. This period saw extreme hardships, including the Bataan Death March, where tens of thousands of Filipino and American soldiers suffered and perished. After a fierce resistance from guerrilla forces and Allied support, the Philippines was liberated in 1945, and on July 4, 1946, finally achieved full independence from the United States. In the years following independence, the Philippines faced challenges in rebuilding its economy and establishing a stable government. Early presidents worked to modernize the nation, but political tensions and economic disparity led to unrest. In 1965, Ferdinand Marcos became president, implementing ambitious infrastructure projects. However, his rule became increasingly authoritarian, and by 1972, he declared martial law, justifying it as a measure against threats to national security. Under martial law, human rights abuses escalated. Political opponents were imprisoned, and corruption became widespread. This era ended with the People Power Revolution in 1986, a peaceful uprising that forced Marcos into exile and restored democracy under Corazon Aquino. Since the return to democracy, the Philippines has continued to grow and evolve. challenges remain, from political reforms and economic inequality to managing a fast-growing population and environmental issues. Today, the Philippines stands as a nation with a vibrant democracy, a diverse culture, and a deep sense of resilience. It has emerged as a key player in the Southeast Asian region, balancing its rich traditions with the demands of globalization. The history of the Philippines is a testament to its people's spirit and strength. From ancient societies to colonial rule, revolution, independence, and democracy, the Philippines story is one of endurance, unity, and hope. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Philippine history. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let's continue exploring the histories that shape our world. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas!